Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to go a little deeper with equality and how it kind of plays out in the real world.
Right, especially within democratic societies.
Yeah. So to kind of kick off our deep dive, let's take a look at the Indian Constitution.
Okay.
It very clearly states that everyone, literally every person, is equal, regardless of gender, caste, religion, or economic background.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty big statement, wouldn't you say?
It definitely is, and it really kind of reflects, the desire for a fair and just society.
Right.
But actually achieving that in a country like India,
Yeah.
it can be pretty tricky.
There's a lot of obstacles to overcome,
Absolutely.
even though we have that foundation set in the Constitution.
Right.
So what are some of the things that the Indian Constitution, what are some ways it tries to actually make sure everyone is equal?
Well, first off, it lays out some pretty important principles.
Okay.
Like everyone is equal before the law.
Okay, so that means...
So that means like everyone, from high-level officials to just everyday people.
Okay.
They're all subject to the same legal framework.
Right.
Like there's no special treatment.
Makes sense.
It's meant to be fair.
So that levels the playing field in terms of legal rights
Exactly.
and protections. But what about those deeply ingrained societal attitudes and prejudices? How do you tackle those?
Well, the Constitution actually addresses that too.
Okay.
It specifically says, like, no discrimination based on religion, race, caste, where you were born, or gender.
Okay.
So it's really trying to make things fair in terms of opportunities and just basic rights for everyone.
So everyone should have equal access to public places, like parks, markets, even like, wells and bathing ghats.
Exactly.
I feel like that's something a lot of people take for granted.
They do.
Like everyone should be able to go to these places,
Absolutely.
regardless of their background.
It's all about creating that sense of, like, you belong here.
Right.
You're part of this community.
You're included.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest challenge in actually making those constitutional ideals a reality?
I think while, we have this legal framework from the Constitution,
Right.
it's really about changing how people think.
Right.
Like those deep-seated societal attitudes and norms.
Yeah.
It's not just about saying it's the law.
It's more about changing people's minds.
It's about really, having that social and economic equality.
Which is way harder.
Way harder.
And so this brings us to kind of an interesting example.
Okay.
The midday meal program.
Yeah.
It's a government thing. It's meant to, give kids good meals at school. But it seems like it goes way beyond just feeding them.
It really does. It's really interesting how such a, seemingly simple program can have a huge impact on equality.
Yeah.
It's like you're tackling hunger and social inequality at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So because they provide these meals to all children, it doesn't matter their caste or background. It really fosters a sense of community and breaks down those social barriers.
Like they're all in it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharing a meal.
Sharing a meal.
And it has a positive impact on, kids going to school and staying in school.
Right, especially those from, families that are struggling financially.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps on multiple levels.
It's kind of like a win-win.
Yeah, it is.
You get the food you need and you get a little bit more social inclusion.
Right.
And maybe better educational opportunities too.
Exactly.
So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this midday meal program?
I think it's,
and its role in all of this.
It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear what you think. What are your thoughts on, how effective it is?
Yeah, and what it means for India as a whole.
Right. Exactly.
So what are your thoughts? Don't be shy. Jump in. Let's have a conversation about this.
Yeah, we're all here to learn and explore these things together.
Exactly.
Let's have an open and honest conversation about these important issues.
That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really great to hear all these different views on this program.
It really is. It shows you just how complicated this whole equality thing is.
Right. There's so much to consider.
Absolutely. So with all that said,
Yeah.
what do you think are some of the biggest roadblocks for India when it comes to actually reaching equality?
One of the toughest things is changing how people think deep down.
Right.
Even with, good laws and policies.
Yeah, you can't just legislate equality.
It takes time to change people's minds and their behaviors.
And it's like there are these biases we don't even realize we have.
Exactly, those implicit biases.
Yeah, they're sneaky.
Yeah.
They can really affect how we see and treat other people.
And they're hard to spot because they're often subconscious.
Right. You don't even know they're there half the time.
Exactly. So it takes real effort to, step back and examine your own thinking.
You got to be willing to challenge yourself. And even when we know that discrimination is wrong, it can be so hard to break free from those beliefs and cultural norms.
It really can. It's like they're ingrained in us.
It's like a deeply rooted thing.
Yeah. And so to really tackle this, you need a multi-pronged approach.
You got to come at it from all angles.
Education is key. And awareness campaigns, getting people talking about it.
Right, getting it out in the open.
And then like fostering empathy and understanding between different groups.
It's like a constant process of learning and unlearning and then relearning.
Exactly. It's about creating a society where everyone is constantly questioning their own assumptions and biases.
Right. We have to be willing to challenge our own thinking.
And work towards creating a more inclusive and just world.
It's a journey for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And, this whole fight for equality, it's not just an India thing.
Right.
It's everywhere.
It's a global issue. Every democracy is grappling with it in some way.
Yeah, exactly. The desire for equal rights and opportunities.
It crosses all borders.
It's a universal human desire, I think.
And the U.S. Civil Rights Movement, that's a prime example.
Oh, yeah, such a powerful movement.
Such a crucial moment in history. African Americans fought so hard for racial equality.
They did. It was a testament to their courage and resilience.
And it led to some real change.
Yeah, it paved the way for a more just and equitable society.
And I think one of the most iconic images from that era is Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat on the bus.
Such a powerful moment.
Just a simple act of defiance, but it sparked protests and activism all over the country.
It became a symbol of the movement.
Yeah, it really showed the world that racial inequality was a serious problem.
It galvanized the movement and forced people to pay attention.
It's crazy how one person's action can create such a ripple effect.
Right.
It's inspiring.
It really is.
It shows you that we all have the power to make a difference.
Absolutely.
Stand up for what's right, even when it's hard. Exactly. And the civil rights movement, it resulted in some big wins.
Oh, yeah. Like legally?
Yeah, like the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
That was huge.
It was a major turning point. It made discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin illegal.
So things really started changing after that.
It was a big step forward, but we can't forget that the fight for equality doesn't stop with laws.
Right.
We got to stay vigilant.
You can't get complacent.
And keep working to break down those systemic barriers.
Yeah, because those things can be so deeply entrenched.
They can. They're often hidden beneath the surface.
To keep certain groups from getting ahead.
Exactly. It's about making sure everyone has a real chance.
Not just theoretically.
A genuine opportunity to succeed.
Yeah, so it's not just about laws. It's about changing the whole system.
It's about creating a society where equal opportunities are truly accessible to everyone.
So this all begs the question, what about us?
Right.
What can we do as individuals?
Yeah, how do we make the world a more equal and just place?
Because it's easy to feel like, oh, this is too big for me to change.
Right. Like, what can I do?
But I think even small actions can make a difference.
Absolutely. They really can.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm eager to hear what you think.
How can we challenge inequality in our daily lives?
What are your ideas?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I think we can learn a lot from each other.
We're all in this together. Yeah, it's so inspiring to hear all these different ideas.
It is. It really gives you hope.
Yeah, like even small things can make a difference.
Absolutely. Even just being aware and, trying to be better.
Yeah, challenging those biases.
Right. Amplifying those voices that don't always get heard.
And trying to understand each other better.
Exactly. Every little step counts.
Yeah, it really does.
Towards a more just society.
So after all this, after this deep dive into equality, how would you define it?
Well, it's definitely more than just a simple definition.
Yeah.
I think equality is about making sure everyone has the same rights and opportunities. It doesn't matter your background, your situation, anything like that.
It's about leveling the playing field.
Exactly. Everyone deserves a fair chance.
A fair shot at, reaching their full potential.
That's what it's all about.
So it's not just about what's written down.
No?
It's about how we treat each other.
Absolutely. Recognizing that every single person has value,
dignity,
and deserves respect.
And the chance to really thrive.
Yeah, to be their best selves.
Exactly.
It's about creating a world where everyone feels like they belong.
Where everyone feels included.
And where those differences are celebrated.
Yeah, because those differences make us stronger.
Absolutely. Everyone has something unique to offer.
So as we wrap things up today,
we want
to leave you with this thought. What can you do?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah, what can you do to make the world a more equal and just place?
It starts with each of us
Looking in the mirror
recognizing those inequalities,
and then taking action.
no matter how small.
Yeah, every little bit counts.
Whether it's speaking up, supporting a good cause, or just being kind.
Right, just treating everyone with respect.
That's where it starts.
And remembering that this isn't a one-time thing,
It's a journey,
a continuous journey.
and we're all in it together.
Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive. We hope this has inspired you to think critically, act courageously, and help build a world where equality is a reality for everyone.
Absolutely. It's been a great conversation.
Thanks for listening.